First, we're going to start in verse 11. Now we're going to start verse 10. He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. Now notice this is talking about Jesus' descent and his ascension, right? And now watch. Well, actually, if you go up to verse 8, it says, wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. So the gifts that he's talking about was given when he ascended, right? Then it says, and he that descended is the same that ascended, verse 10, up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers. Now the moment that he gave that was when he ascended. So when people say, well, you know, there's no more apostles since the first 12. Okay, the 12 were the 12, but that's not what's being talked about here in verse 11, because these apostles were given when he ascended. Those apostles had already been given. All right? And there were no evangelists, pastors, and teachers while Jesus was alive. All that came after he ascended. So if he gave apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, he gave them all at the same time. And since there were no pastors and teachers and evangelists before, while he was on his earth walk here, then obviously he's talking about something he gave after he ascended. So this is a whole different group of apostles. Okay? So apostles didn't stop at Jesus' death or even at the death of the first 12. Right? They're still going on. You have to think of apostles, the office of apostle is like the office of a president. Different ones may fill it, but the office goes on. Okay? All right. Now watch. And he gave them, for why? Why did he give them? Verse 12. For the perfecting or the maturing of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying or the building up of the body of Christ. How long are we going to have these apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers? Verse 13. Till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. Now let's stop right there and let's analyze this. How long are we going to have these fivefold ministry? Honestly, if you look at this too, if you get back to the Greek, it's actually technically four offices. It's apostles, prophets, evangelists, and pastors who are teachers, is the way the Greek reads. And it talks more about teachers than it does pastors in there, so generally it puts the two together. So I'm just clarifying some things there. But now notice, it says he gave these, number one, in verse 12, for the perfecting or maturing of the saints. So the fivefold ministry is to mature the saints, to grow them up. And for the work of the ministry. Now, it also says that the saints should be doing the work of the ministry, so it goes with that. And for the edifying or the building up of the body of Christ. How long are we going to have it? Until, so this also tells us that apostles are still going on. We're going to have it until we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God. Now, the word knowledge there is a Greek word, epignosis. And it means literally a full and perfect experiential understanding. All right? That's what it means. It doesn't just mean to know. Now, and of the knowledge of the Son of God. Now, people have read that before and said that means that we're all going to come to know that Jesus is the Son of God. Okay, he's writing to the church. So everybody in the church already knows that Jesus is the Son of God, because otherwise you're not a part of the church. Right? So we're not going to come to the knowledge that he's the Son of God. We're going to come to the knowledge of the Son of God. In other words, we're going to have a full experiential knowledge that the Son of God himself has. In other words, we're going to know what he knows. Now think about that. Right? Now see, here's the thing. You're going to have to grow, and you're going to have to make a decision. I can tell you right now, you're going to have to make a decision to step across the line that religion has drawn. God didn't draw it. Religion drew it. Your problem is you want to stay a human. That's what you want to do. And as long as you can do that, then you can always live life, and when you have a problem, cry out to God and be like David, and, oh, God, help me, and, oh, God, do this, and that's what you want to live normal and be a normal human and be saved and just, and see, the problem is, okay, unless you have the nature of God, you don't have Christianity, you have religion. When Christianity